Welcome to Megapath Presents. I'm Ronnie Hayes, and today let's talk about the Walking Dead Season 8 finale. More importantly, Dwight's fate. I think this is a really interesting part in the story. Not only is it remixed from the comic book, but the purpose is something that, now that I think about it, I'm shocked stupid I didn't think about this earlier, sooner. I'm always harping on this channel about setups and payoffs and why writers choose to do the things they do in certain cases. And this is just glaringly obvious now. And I'm not saying as a predictable thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying now, after the fact, looking back on it, I think this is a great idea. Now, why is it important that Dwight gets caught before, Negan possibly loses the war? In the comic book, Dwight never gets caught. I won't go into any spoilers after that, but essentially, Dwight never gets caught in the comic book. So why is it important to remix that for the show? I think one interesting aspect is what it does for the story. Think about it. If Dwight got caught and Negan killed him, it's just a tragic and sad end for Dwight, right? But what does that do for Daryl or Tara? That part of the storyline, those, three characters right now are connected as the story progresses forward. If he died, it'd be tragic, sure. But what after that? Well, if they're going into war, if they're going into battle, and that's the saviors versus the survivors, the communities, I thought I said that wrong, but I said that right. Yeah, the saviors versus the survivors. And Tara and Daryl, we all assume he's going to continue to want to kill Dwight. But if they go into battle and they see that Negan has Dwight as a prisoner, Dwight got caught, he got found out, and that is how they got set up. Not as a betrayal from Dwight, but as a simple Negan found out, and then this is him making a counter, to their plans of him being the snitch or the mole and the rat. So now Tara and Daryl can face this decision. Obviously, the good guys are going to prevail in the situation. Some may die, but for this sake of the storyline here, we have this moment where Daryl has been wanting Dwight dead since they started this. But if put in this situation, knowing that Negan has him, Negan's about to kill him, maybe Negan brings Dwight to the battlefield and he's going to execute him after, or leave him as a prisoner for a few years, but he makes him witness the saviors killing all the survivors. I think that's something Negan would do. In the middle of all that, Daryl and or Tara, maybe Tara is the one who convinces Daryl to save Dwight. And I think that is a huge part of some of the majority of the closure in that storyline. This is a big thing. Keep in mind, if you look back at the storyline of whether or not to kill Dwight or have his story end in his death, Daryl and Tara's little section of that story, it's over. It's done. Again, it's a tragic end. But if they have to make this decision, if Daryl makes this decision that Dwight did everything in his power to redeem himself, and now he's going to die because Negan found him out. If Daryl makes the choice to save Dwight from that fate, Daryl can't just turn around and kill him. That'd be just ridiculous, unless he saved him because he wanted to kill him himself. See what I mean? So, now looking back on it, I think this is a really interesting thing. Now, here's the thing. I always thought Daryl would be the one to bring Dwight into the inner circle, not as friends, but kind of how Rosita did it. But instead, because they had a lot of, connected storylines together, instead they had Rosita be the one to do it. And maybe, and I was against it at first, but maybe they were right. Because if they wrapped their storyline up with this, it wouldn't make sense for Daryl to bring him in, saying he's going to kill him. And then afterwards still saying he's going to kill him, because then people are like, well, you brought him to us. So you had to have believed he was trying to help us, to some degree. So I think they might have been right there. Anyway, we got this trailer. There's only a couple things I want to point out here. They hit a lot in the trailer, which I really enjoyed. There's not a lot that really shows or spoils what they're going to do. Obviously, Negan's getting his bullets from Eugene. Here's the survivors going to leave, going into war or battle. And we see this moment here where Tara looks afraid. I just want to add this little prediction here, but about the trailer. Tara looks afraid. I'm getting the vibe that they go out to war, Rick and a whole bunch of the survivor army, and Tara is a part of the group that stays behind, and the Saviors, that's a part of their secret plan. They attack the hilltop, and Tara looks afraid, and they make this plan to go out by the fences and then try to repel, push the Saviors away. I don't know what the hell I was trying to say. Anyway, at first I thought they were bringing Dwight to the battlefield, but later we see him in his A shirt I just showed you. And yeah, it does look like the A shirt is at the trash heap. Doesn't that look like when they had Rick on top of the up? I thought maybe Negan was going to say, here, Jadis, you can have him. He's your little servant now. I killed Simon. Here's Simon. Or they could be where Jadis is, because we see Jadis in the trailer looking like she's opening the door where everyone walks into. Yeah, right here. This could be Negan showing up, giving Jadis Simon Walker. I think that, matter of fact, holy crap, I think that would have been a clever way to make up for some of the silly way she tied him up. How she wheels the Walker out, and now he can give her the gift of the Simon Walker. I think that's really cool. I like that. Anyway, I do think that they, at the hilltop, they set up some type of trap to burn people up. Unless this is the Saviors burning up some survivors. That would be pretty messed up. That would be pretty epic. And I do think it appears, I could be wrong, but it appears that Negan does fool Rick and gang, and it kind of looks like Rick and gang open fire on some group, or maybe Negan sets it up like this is where their camp is, which makes it a little odd. Maybe this is a stupid prediction, because why would Rick, he's smart enough to not open fire without actually seeing Negan and Saviors there. So if they open fire on, like, a little cluster of vehicles and stuff, and then they stop shooting because they realize there's no one there, and that's when they do get attacked. It does kind of, if you look at the images again, this image and the other image when they're in the field, it does kind of look like two different ones. Like they go to one field and then they shift over to another. And Rick has the map, so at that point in time, Rick is still going by the fake plan. I do think Father Gabriel tries to run away to warn him, and this is where Eugene has to make probably the most, I'm hoping, the most important decision that his character has to make. That is closer to redeemable than he's ever been, where he lets him go. He finally gives up on being this little asshole. Anyway, the most important things I feel is the stuff they're not showing us, and that is the Oceanside. Obviously, I do think that the survivors are going to take a beating, but then Oceanside's going to show up and at least help out a little bit. Now, I don't know if they're going to show up at the hilltop and help out, or show up right on the battlefield and help out. But I'm really excited for this this season finale, and I really want to see an awesome moment in the war kickoff, at least a 10-minute, 15-minute chunk of just epic craziness. Anyway, give me your thoughts and opinions on the Dwight storyline. Now, keep in mind, I don't just mean as a prediction, like yes or no, or, will he live or die? What do you think about this story overall, going from the Daryl and Dwight conflict connection, and then Rosita bringing him in, and then Daryl saying he's going to kill him, much like his buddy Rick? They have that in common. I'm going to kill him after. I'm going to kill Negan. I'm going to kill Dwight. I'm going to kill him. And then now, after all that Dwight has done, and he has done a lot to try to redeem himself, after all that, he might end up a slave. Look, he's wearing Daryl's asshole shirt, isn't he? He might end up a slave, and you know how that affected Daryl. A slave to Negan for years. When Daryl looks at him, he knows he's going to be a slave to Negan for years, and then face possibly a horrific death whenever Negan gets bored of him or sick of him. and Daryl might not be okay with that. That might be the turning point for Daryl. Anyway, just a couple thoughts I had. I really wanted to share that with you guys. I love this part of the story more and more the more I think about it, and it's something I'm really interested to see play out come this Sunday. And remember, afterwards, we got a Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead live after show immediately following the Fear the Walking Dead premiere. I believe it's around 11:30ish. I don't know. What is it? 9 to 10. We start at 10. Yeah, 11:30ish Eastern Standard Time. All right, guys, leave your thoughts, theories, predictions, and everything else down in that comment box. I'm done talking. It's your turn.